y'all, what's up? This is While They Sleep Tarot coming at y'all while they sleep and while they sleep. So this reading that I'm doing is going to be for the earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And we're going to focus on what this Mercury retrograde left you with and what the moon, this Aries full moon, wants you to release. And I'm going to pull 3 cards, one for each sign, and only 3, but I'm going to clarify them with my numerology cards and the universal wisdom cards, okay? So, for Capricorn, we have death. For Taurus, we have the 5 of Wands, and for Virgo, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Now, okay, y'all know my rule. When I have a major arcana, I gotta pull another card from the deck. And so, Taurus, we starting with you. We have death. So, we gotta pull another. Oh, that one just kind of twiddled out. But we gotta pull another card to clarify what this death card is saying. But ultimately, Mercury retrograde left you with some sudden changes, and this full moon wants you to release, to fully release the things, the people, the thoughts, the perspectives that change stemmed from. So maybe you could have been into it with someone. This is what I'm giving y'all. Or you were involved with someone. Y'all got into it, right? Which was the sudden change. And it might not have been romantic involved. It could have been a friendship. It could have been, work or whatever. Whatever you was doing, there was some kind of beef that happened. And so it left you with a change that you have to kind of like fill a gap for. All right. And so the full moon wants you to fully release those people, that job or whatever. Not necessarily the person attached to it, but fully release your perspective or the way you thought about those people. Might be time for you to look at things a different way, really use your insight to see how you don't want to go through those same things again, how you don't want to, you want to be able to know right off the bat when you're dealing with a certain type of person, that ain't for me. So we got the Empress clarifying this death card. And once you do that, once you release, being a people pleaser, being, I don't want to say over friendly, because some people just friendly. There's nothing wrong with that. But maybe there's such thing as being too friendly and where you let people walk over you. Once you release that, or just pull back your energy a little bit, then you will start to see more success in your relationships. Whether it be friendships, romance, family, even your relationships with money, your relationship, how would that relate to money? We gotta put another card because we got the Empress card. Queen of Wands. So once you release that, and you come into your power, you come into your success, you come into your abundance, then there you will remain in the Queen of Wands energy, and you will still have your morals, your what's the word? Your, not morals, but you know, your dignity intact. That's the word I want to look for. Your dignity will still be intact, and you will still be able to be you, but you have just gained some wisdom and some knowledge from this situation. But ultimately, Mercury retrograde left you with a change in some of your relationships, a shake up, and this full moon wants you to release some of the ways that you have, I'm sorry, y'all, that you were thinking about, you know, certain relationships or certain situations. And so we're going to pull a numerology card on this. Synchronicity. So Mercury retrograde left you in a state of synchronicity where you are starting to line up with what you want. And this kind of goes along with the oh wow, that flew right out. With that Empress card. You're starting to line up and receive the things that you desire and want, or you will once you know, go through this full moon release. Hold up, y'all, let me get that card. Surrender. Surrender all that mess, all that, you know, because you was probably already having some doubts, but you was just calling yourself being friendly, being nice to people, and they took it too far. So the Mercury retrograde left you with synchronizing with yourself and really being in tune with yourself because of that change you had, because you ain't had no words to turn but within. And the full moon wants you to surrender to that lesson that you had to learn. Surrender to knowing that, hey, you know, I can't throw my pearls to swine. I'm gonna pull the universal wisdom, Lord. On that. I used to think I couldn't put my hand around it. I don't like stretching my hand. I feel like I be stretching my hand when I do something too big. Creativity. Gift of the feminine. My gift is creativity. Yeah, my bad. I should have had all this. Okay, it says, I hold vibrations of creativity, grace, and intuition. My purpose is to gently open and inspire your intuitive, creative centers. I invite you to allow and empower the expansion of your creative abilities. You are a creative being. Allow your intuition to guide you in connecting gracefully with your own unique gift of creativity. Listen carefully to its call and make space for it to manifest within your life. Feel the joy within your heart as creativity is set free and allowed to blossom. Honor your creative ability. So it's kind of like you were relying on other people to lead you and guide you, as opposed to relying on your inner self. And it's so funny because I was just, man, I was getting all kind of downloads today. And one of them was that, like, you know, a lot of us, I'm going to talk about me. I grew up in a Christian household or whatever. Like, we were Catholic. And so I know, you know, and then I later went to Baptist and non-denomination, all that. So I know a little bit about the Bible, and so I was thinking about, and I also went to the school of metaphysics, you know, so I also know about other ways of looking at things. So what I'm saying is to say that when you read it and you read something like I am who I am, and you say those words, you are talking to yourself. It's so strategically written that you are talking to yourself. You are putting these things out there on yourself, good or bad. And so I believe what this is saying is that you got to depend more on you to bring forth the things that you want, whether it's something creative, whether it's money, whether it's love, as opposed to anybody else, you know. And you have to watch who you allow in your who you allow to influence you, who you allow. People don't believe. I had to tell my children, you know, birds of a feather flock together doesn't necessarily mean that who you with is doing something intentionally to you, but if they out there robbing banks and stealing cars, eventually you're gonna join. You're going to join them. Okay, Taurus. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, so just walk in your creativity, trust yourself more. All right, so that was Capricorn. Oh my God. I hope I wasn't saying Taurus the whole time. Taurus, we have the Five of Wands. Okay, and so you going through some ups and downs. Like you're right now you're you know what you want. You're ambitious. You got some ideas, but you're maybe struggling with bringing them forth. You know, like you start one thing and maybe you don't finish it, or it don't work out or whatever. So that's what Mercury retrograde has left you with all these ideas, but you don't know how to implement them. It's left you with this hunger, this thirst, this ambition for making something happen, but you ain't sure on how to make it happen. And so what this full moon in Aries wants you to release is the struggle that you're having with it. Stop struggling with it and just allow yourself to be and allow it to come to you. Doesn't mean stand still and don't do nothing or pause and but it just means to don't struggle with it so much. Happy ending. That's what Mercury retrograde left you with, because you were having some kind of void in your life to where you didn't know what you wanted to do. You didn't even have no ideas, but then the ideas started coming, but you weren't unsure how to implement them. But Mercury retrograde left you with a happy ending because now you have a foundation you can start building on. Now you have a foundation you can start building on with some of those ideas, because they're definitely successful. If they came from, from spirit, from the universe, if they were downloaded into your mind, your brain to think about them, and to even think 2 or 3 steps further from that first step, then it's definitely divine. And I think you were kind of bored before in life, like you were stuck. So now at least you got some movement going. Now you can build a foundation. Forgiveness. So the full moon in Aries wants you to forgive yourself, which is part of this struggle thing, for not thinking of this stuff before or not doing these things before. Forgive yourself. Yeah, So sometimes we beat ourselves up so much and not realize that there were certain things we had to learn before we get to this step. There were certain steps we had to take before we got to step number 5. So forgive yourself, Taurus. So the Mercury retrograde left you with some ideas and some new things, and so that made you happier. But this full moon wants you to release the struggle of being confused on what to do next or which step to take next. Just wants you to lay this foundation and forgive yourself for not, thinking of these things before. So I'm getting at the rest of this month and probably into October, November, you're gonna start seeing the fruit of your labor with new beginnings. Happy endings and new beginnings. Yes. Hey. Forgiveness leads to new beginnings too. I hold vibrations which code for paradise earth. My purpose is to seed these codes within and around you. I invite you to focus on your dreams, take advantage of new beginnings, and contribute to the contribution of a new earth. Align new beginnings within your life, however large or small, with those of a paradise earth. In doing so, you are choosing peace, unity, joy, beauty, and abundance. Every time you choose peace, unity, joy, beauty, and abundance, you are contributing to a positive shift in global consciousness. See new beginnings within your life as an exciting part of creation. I know Taurus don't always like change, but it's time for change, and it's exciting change. Okay, Taurus? All right, so Virgos, we have the 7 of Pentacles for you. And so this is just a card of basically growth, but yet in growth there is patience. But this is growth in your money, in your happiness, and everything. So I'm getting that you've been manifesting. And so what the Mercury retrograde left you with was in the stage of growth. Like you done been through the idea phase. You done put some, momentum into those ideas. You done put some things out there. Now you just gotta wait for it to grow. Whether it's your money, your happiness. Now you just, you planted the seeds basically. You gotta wait for them to grow. And so what this Aries full moon wants you to release is your impatience. Release that impatience. And in some ways, release your patience, because maybe sometimes you've been a little too patient. And that's a challenging one, because how can you be too patient if you gotta wait? If you gotta hurry up and wait for something to happen. You just, it's just something you gotta do. But in there, what I'm getting is that you gotta make sure certain steps have been taken care of, because if you haven't taken care of those steps, then you could be patient all you want to, and it's never gonna happen. Boom. So you've been left you're in this place of growth and waiting for your abundance and everything to come through. Because you done already planted the seeds. And guess what? It's harvest time right now. So it ain't yet, but okay. It's harvest time. But you gotta let the stuff grow so your seeds not look thrown off. Love. Oh, that was deep. That blue hit different. So what the Mercury retrograde left you with is love. And maybe that's one of the biggest things that's gonna grow for you. That you've been planting the seeds, and that's what's gonna grow. That maybe that's what you've been manifesting, Virgo. And this Aries full moon wants you to focus on your spiritual career. Interesting. Now, what I always say is that spiritual career ain't necessarily, a career in anything spiritual, but it's just your relationship with yourself. That's a career within itself, a never-ending career, because that's something you should be developing all the time. And 8 and 7 is 15, which comes down to 6, which is more love, baby. Yes. So love for yourself and just love, period, for others, for, yeah, just a foundation of love, because maybe you just are love. And you could have a spiritual career. So you might need to release could you be needing to release your spiritual career? Or you could just be needed to release let me get a clarifier for this spiritual career. That one's always kind of vague to me. Patience. Release your patience in your spiritual career, maybe. Maybe you need to be more aggressive with it. Whether it's an actual, career where you setting out to, because that's a career of service, regardless, especially when you're dealing with others, and it's also service to yourself. So maybe you've been sitting on that for too long, and it's time for you to start moving on it, right? You've been patient long enough. It's time for you to start moving on that spiritual career. And like I said, spiritual career could be, just your own personal walk, but making it something that you do, that you are dedicated to, in a sense. And I ain't gonna say dedicated to where it's like becomes uniform, but just something that you are mindful of. Healing. Big healing energy. Healing. I hold vibrations of pure love and radiance and radiate them to you, pure love with it, to you into the waters of the earth.